Push go. All righty. Hello. How you doing, Colonel Peoples? We are getting ready to finish up on Chapter 6, Lesson 1, American Flag. You got that great? You can sit down. What you want to do here is make sure this is called content. Okay? Show content. And you push here, and it comes up here. If it doesn't come up there, you need to come to the computer and come over here. And you know about the projector mode of the computer?
Yes, sir.
Okay? You push function, and then you find whatever F4 button is. It comes like this. And you need to make sure that the computer is on duplicate. And that allows you to see here and also go there.
All right.
Okay? If you screw that up, and it's on something like this, guess what? That's going to be on, and this will be off, and you think your computer's broken. It's not. It's just the projector mode. And I've made every mistake in the book. So look, then you got to look behind you and get it on the right one there, and guess what? It'll work out.
All right.
All right. You ready to go? All right. So we're recording. And also what I do, you don't realize, but as soon as I see that blinking red light, that means everything's great. When the blinking red light goes off, that means the telephone line's messed up and it dropped off. And that means we go back to Walensky, and that right there is the only game in town.
Right.
Okay? What you want to do for the lecturer is you want to flip-flop these pictures. So the way you do that, in here, look here, to flip-flop these pictures is you go back to the call, and it's called layout, and then you push swap. And guess what? He can see himself and see what's going on. All right? I don't sure if he have a PowerPoint. If he doesn't have a PowerPoint or he's not showing anything from his computer, he doesn't need content.
Right.
Right? I do, because I'm getting ready to talk about that. Okay? All right. Thank you. Okay, guys. First of all, I want to make sure everybody realized we had our first emergency Moodle JTED 48 hours, 72 hours. We could not get on Moodle JTED. This is the new picture of it. Mr. Knickerbocker, have you been able to get on here?
Yes, sir.
Great. Who has not been able to get on here? Who has not opened it up this quarter? Mr. Kramer, Mr. Detention, Mr. Hat. Okay, you have not been on here at all?
Not yet. I will tonight.
Be here tonight and show me tomorrow, okay? Because you've got a positive 0 in this class right now, right? Over here on the left side, you found this, Alex?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you go to My Courses. I think, are you signed? You're probably signed up for 1 and 102, but 102 is what you care about, okay? And with that, it comes up talking to you about Leadership Lab 5, which is Monday. You guys are not taking this test. The in-school kids are not taking this test Monday. You will take it a week from Monday when I get back, which will be February 11th. Write that down on your head, okay? Because it is CPS-oriented. I don't want to teach people to do that. And oh, by the way, you've got a lecturer here next Monday, okay? All right. So this is what it looks like. And, of course, I've already got lesson week 4 lined up here. See, this is Colonel Hink from last week when he came here. And for you guys' information, I do have a study guide. See the study guide right here? Yes.
Is that the study guide for the test that is a week from...
Correct. Also, Alex, keep trying to log in to week 1 and 2. I've changed them around, and you tell me if you can get into them. I mean, try it every day and email me every day, yes or no. If you complete something, it sends me an automatic email, but I don't know if you're trying if you don't complete something. So text me or let me know, okay? All right, anybody have any questions about the class? It's still on here, still good to go. We have this is your study guide to work on it, and we'll be going from there.
So,
Excuse me?
we can get on and do stuff that we couldn't do last week since it was down.
Well, it was down Sunday night at 5 p.m. until Tuesday night about 5 p.m. It was about 2 hours. So what's your question?
If we blacked out.
Okay. Well, I have it, like for instance, I have it, for 2 weeks, that it's due. So like for instance, this week right here, January 5th through the 4th, if you go down here to the assignment,
Okay. So,
it's due until 11th. See here?
all right, yes, sir.
Did I
First.
Ooh, that doesn't look good, does it?
We all got
Oh, that's week 4. Yeah, that's week 4. So I always have it due for 2 weeks, guys. Okay? So it makes sense. And that way you have the time available. See here, the 29th through the 11th. So even though it's down for 2 days, email me. I'm understanding. I'm trying to help. That's why I put a study guide on there, because I didn't know how long it's going to be down. I wanted you guys to do well in this test. Okay? All right? And if you can't submit it, then email me or text me, and I will work with you. Okay? Any other question, guys? Kramer, guess what? If you haven't logged in this quarter, you missed 2 weeks of assignments. Right? So you got a you are behind. You're behind. Okay? Because you only get 2 weeks. I remember at the beginning of this quarter, I said you got a suspense date for every assignment. All right. Okay. All right, guys, please pull open the books then, and we are looking at the American flag. I think we're up to about displaying the American flag. What slide were we on? Whoever was supposed to memorize that for me.
4, sir.
Yay, Bing, give me air 5. Good job, good job. All right, air 5, here we go. Okay, we talked about a lot of laws that govern the flag. I don't care about this a bit, other than the fact that like I said, that the president is the one who actually dictates whether or not you have a flag at half-mast. There are a lot of details about displaying the flag, and honestly, I don't memorize them all. But you should sort of know, with your family, with your profession, with your workplace, when you display a flag, how you do it. So, like I said, in the old days, the flags were made out of cotton, and you couldn't put them in bad weather. Now, everything we have is an all-weather flag, because it's nylon, and it works. Okay? Talks about when the flag should be placed. Look, during school days, in or near every schoolhouse in America. You know that? Every schoolhouse. That's pretty wild. And I want you to know that the flagpole, right, was here since 1964. And before I started this junior ROTC, I traveled and visited a lot of junior ROTCs, and about half of them had an honor guard that raised and lowered the flag every day. And I thought that was neat, because that allowed people to do something outside the class, earn extra points, get promoted. So I started that here, and believe it or not, on the first day we were ever open, August the 6th, 2006, before the class was open, I was recruiting people to be my honor guard. So during registration, if you were signing up for my class, I said, hey, you want to be an honor guard tomorrow? You want to be an honor? And so they were out there on the first day we raised the flag. And it's been up and down every day now 6 years. 6 times 180, that's approaching 1,300 straight days that we've laid and lowered the flag. It's pretty cool. Yes, sir.
Usually, I remember when I was an honor guard, I was the AM or PM commander, either one, and when there weren't enough people, it would only be one of us out there, so we'd have to raise and lower the flag. So I made sure it was raised and lowered every single day. That's
true. Well, like I said, you're following a long line. It's really good, really good. And not every school does this, I'm telling you. You talk about the flags. There's a lot of specific stuff about that, and you'll see people wearing it. So the bottom line is you have a flag, and you want to put it up somewhere. There's a rule about it, okay? One of the things I learned is with a, where is it? Right here. When you display a flag, it says displaying a flag flat or hanging free. You never hang it with a curve. It's got to be straight and flat up against there. And when you're dealing with international situations, can anybody think of a situation here in Prescott where we'd be dealing with flags of other nations? Yes, sir.
The square, we have a bunch of those like flags up by a statue.
Great. That's like with flags of different states and nations. What's another way? What's the closest foreign nation to us?
Canada.
Mexico.
Thank you very much. Try again.
South America.
Thank you very much. Try again. Come on, guys. What's a foreign nation? Where is a foreign nation that touches
Mexico.
Prescott High School?
Chino. Prescott Valley.
Mexico.
A nation. Nation.
The reservation.
Ding, 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 ding. The Yavapai Indian Reservation is a sovereign nation. And so guess what? When we do our color guard at the Yavapai Indian Nation, we have two countries. And it's not like we should dip the other countries. The American one's higher, so they still stay on the same, like it says right there, separate staffs, equal size, same height. It's a fact. And works out real well. All right. All very specific. This is exactly what we do in displaying the flag, especially when we have color guards and we have our Roost Street Theater change of command. But flying at half-mast. How do you raise and lower a flag for half-mast, guys? How do you do it for half-mast? Bain, you've done it?
You raise it to the top like you normally would, and then you leave it at the top for a brief moment, and then you slowly lower it to half-mast.
Okay, then how do you take it down?
You raise it all the way to the top, and then you lower it down like you normally
Exactly. It's kind of tricky. But once you do it once, you got it down. Okay? That's exactly right. Presidential order. I think I talked about this last time, right? Presidential order, he is the one that dictates it, as well as governor, right? Or president of the Yavapai Indian Reservation can dictate that his flag is at half-mast, right? Half staff at the death of, all these happen in your lifetime. It happened in my lifetime. And when that happens, it's immediately. Or like a Medal of Honor winner, I guarantee if John McCain were to die tomorrow in a car accident, everything would be at half-mast. Cadet Stephen Carroll, you can stand up in the back, please. All right, what about covering a casket? Why do we cover a casket with a flag? Why? Yes, sir.
Is it for respect?
Yeah, honor the veterans, the people, the reason the flag is there. Okay, my dad was a World War II veteran, and he had a flag that covered his casket. And it's, then folded and brought up. You never dip a flag to anyone. You never let the flag touch the ground. Here is something that I learned being an Air Force colonel in junior ROTC. That's Stephen Conrad Carroll. Come over here and stand in the parade rest and listen to what I'm saying, please. Okay? Guess what? A flag can never be held flat or horizontal. Did y'all know that? So, you cannot march down the streets of Arizona and Prescott and hold a flag straight and level. Do we ever do that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah? The answer is, I did start that tradition my first year when I got that humongous flag, is we started carrying it down the streets of Prescott like this. And a guy smarter than me called me out and go, "Well, Colonel, you're carrying a flag in a disrespectful manner." And I looked it up, and guess what? There it is. So what we technically do is when we're coming in front of the display stand, remember, y'all saw it, we go like this and we raise it up, right? So that the field is high and it's not flat or horizontal. So that's my answer. And once I started doing that, guess what? I didn't get any more phone calls. And so it worked out. What do we do to you don't put your name on the flag. You never, write, "Yay, America" on the flag. You don't ever do that. You're never supposed to advertise the flag. Well, you're never supposed to advertise the flag. How come we see an American flag on all these T-shirts and all? How does that work? Any of you guys have a T-shirt right now with a flag on it? No? So how do you do that?
Show pride.
Yeah, what does it say right there? Never use the flag for advertising. Huh? What about like stickers, right? We see stickers up there. How do we rationalize that?
flag by itself, it would not count as advertising. Maybe.
You're close. It's a picture. Is it a flag? I mean, an American flag, or is it a picture of a flag, or an emblem of a flag, or a sticker of a flag? So you can have those as advertising or wear those on T-shirts. But a true flag can never be used in advertising. Go buy Bill's Peanuts, an American flag. No, it's a picture of a flag or whatever he puts on there, okay? How do we get rid of flags? In a dignified manner. Have y'all ever seen one of our flag burnings in the ROTC? We generally do that at FTX. So when we have our camping time this spring, when's our camping? Like May? We go camping. We'll actually have a flag disposal ceremony. We'll burn the flag. If you're in scouting, they do the same thing there. Okay, national anthem. We played at most of the flag ceremonies to the colors. You guys realize the rules have changed as far as your respect towards the flag. When you're doing the Pledge of Allegiance, you stand at attention and you put your hands over your heart, right? Do you ever salute the flag during the Pledge of Allegiance? Right. You all do not. But it is now written into public law that veterans may salute the flag in or out of uniform. So it's just started, and my generation sort of know that doesn't happen. But by the time your generation's coming, you see somebody saluting the flag, you'll know that that person's a veteran. Yes, sir?
That in Boy Scouts.
Yeah, in Boy Scouts, you're right. I'm an assistant scoutmaster. They salute the flag when they're doing it. You're exactly right. It's individual traditions. So, what page is in uniform? What is the flag tradition? What page is this on, guys? Help me out here. Where are we on let me catch up with the book.
Should be 265, 266.
265. So give me the tradition, the courtesies.
It's 267.
All right, 267. When outdoor in civilian clothes, what's the courtesy for addressing the flag of the national anthem?
When in civilian clothes and the national anthem or to the colors is played, stand at attention, face the flag, and place your right hand over your heart. If the flag is not visible, face the music and do the same. A male cadet removes his headdress with the right hand and holds it at his left shoulder with his right hand over his heart. A female cadet salutes by standing at attention and placing her right hand over her heart. Male cadets without hats salute in the same way as female cadets.
There you go. Guys, you need to know this is probably the most important page because this is where people will be looking at you, especially when you're in uniform, of how you respect the flag. So you need to kind of read 267 and understand it, 267 and 268. Specifically during indoor ceremonies, such as when we have the pep rallies, it specifically says do not salute the flag unless under arms. What does that mean?
When you have the rifles?
Yes, exactly. Because you're actually saluting the flag technically when you have the arms, when you have the rifles. Okay, let's talk about the national anthem. Tell me about the national anthem. How do we get the national anthem? Francis Scott Key. Who is he?
34-year-old lawyer and poet.
There you go. He's a lawyer and poet. Was he British or was he American?
American.
When was it written and where?
September 13th, 1814.
1814? Was that when the Revolutionary War was?
War of 1812 was happening.
Okay, the War of 1812 was happening in 1814. Great. And where did it happen? It's pretty famous. Exactly. You can go to Fort McHenry in Baltimore to this day and see the exact spot that he was taken prisoner and held on a British ship and watched the American flag under assault, stay under assault, and did not fail. It was rather inspirational. And he wrote it. So in this, there's no question, like the Betsy Ross flag, there's some question about whether or not Betsy Ross really did the first flag. There's no question of this. This was documented, boom, done. 200 years ago. Isn't that pretty cool? He was not British. Some people thought he was British. I think he was caught. Did it say here he was caught or something like that?
It's weird. Like
He was
in the other people's jail.
He watched the attack from the deck of a British prisoner exchange ship. He was a lawyer who went to seek the release of a friend. So, yeah, he wasn't British. He was American, but he was there watching it. So, what about the Pledge of Allegiance? When was that written? Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance, da-da-da. When was that written?
92.
Isn't that crazy? That's not that long ago. That's 100 years. I mean, you think about that one's 200 years old, 250 years old. So, yeah, it was written actually to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Columbus. That's pretty wild. What about the phrase "under God"? Has that been in there since the beginning? When was that added?
President Eisenhower.
George Washington didn't say, "I want this nation to be under God." Did you think George Washington said that? George Washington did not say that. And President Eisenhower did that. So it's actually 54. 54, my goodness, that's almost as old as I am. So that's 50 years ago, 55 years ago. Kind of crazy. So we have been, under God only for, 20% of our American life? That's kind of crazy. The Pledge of Allegiance, again, is pretty unusual in the world. There's nothing like this for other states. The Canadians don't have a Pledge of Allegiance. The Mexicans don't have a Pledge of Allegiance. We have this tradition. There have been some little changes for the Pledge of Allegiance along the way, and they probably will be in the future, to be honest. But just realize the Pledge of Allegiance is pretty unusual. We don't do that in the other places. And let's see this: salute if outdoors, when in uniform, salute if outdoors. So nowadays, like I said, this has changed. And when you say the Pledge of Allegiance, veterans may salute in and out of uniform. Okay. The Flag Day, isn't that in here somewhere? Flag Day, June 14th. We celebrate that as the birthday of the Stars and Stripes. It's been celebrated after the Civil War in 1877. And President Wilson did that. We don't get a vacation day for that. That's just an observation of the Flag Day. What about the Great Seal? When was that done? Look at bottom of page 273 there, the picture of it. Let's see, do I have a picture of it in here? I think there's a picture of it in here. Bottom of page 273. What do you see on that picture that you can figure out why it was looking like that? You come sit down. Why do we have an eagle?
It's representative of freedom.
There you go. What's the eagle have in his talons?
Olive branches and arrows.
Why does he have arrows? And what do the arrows represent?
That represent our arms.
How many arrows are there, guys?
No clue.
Huh?
What are arrows?
How many arrows are they?
13.
Gee, why would America have 13 arrows?
13 colony.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. What's in his right claw? Olive branch. Peace. Right? What is interesting, you see the across the eagle's chest, I don't know, what do you call it, a grill? I call it a grill. Guess what? What does a pilot's wings look like? The center part looks like a grill, like on the front of a car. Look at that. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Think that came from there? So if you have other than a pilot, like a Wizzo or an astronaut, they don't have that grill. But I think it came directly from the Great Seal. Okay? What about on the back side of it there? That pyramid with the eye. What does that mean? What is that for, do you think? What is the pyramid? What is the pyramid in the eye? Why do they have that? What are those letters underneath the pyramid? What does this mean?
Novus Ordo.
No, what's the MC, the MDC?
1776.
Yay! And what do you call that way of writing letters? Roman numerals. So what's the M mean?
1,000.
1,000. Good. What's a D?
500.
500. C?
100.
C is what?
Century.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, there you go. Great. L is 50. X is 10. You had to add it up. Why would they put a pyramid there? Why would they put a pyramid? Does it say on here? The pyramid on the reverse side of the Great Seal signifies strength and duration. The I over it, meaning God has favored our undertakings. But why would they put a pyramid, do you think, guys? Have you ever heard of the Masons? Freemasons? What's a Freemason?
They're an order of people who last, I've heard, fought for us in the war, I think.
Close, yeah. What?
Like, sort of like spies almost.
Not spies, no.
They're a religious group that's still around today, and George Washington was actually a Mason.
You're right about that. It's not religion at all, but go ahead.
It's kind of like a secret society. Like they keep all their stuff secret.
Oh, it's a club. Okay. But the thing is, think about in the old days, think when they're building the pyramids. And you guys want a job, you got to be part of our club. It was a union. We have unions today, right? And you guys have to be skilled. You got to work for 20 years as an internship to Alex, because he worked for 20 years for his dad. And guess what? Then you get the stamp. You're part of the club, and you get paid. And so truly, the Masons track their lineage back to the pyramid. And, oh, by the way, they did find America. The great beginners of American were all Masons. Because by the time the 1700s came along, they were the surveyors, they were the mathematicians, they were the people who were educated. And you're right, it was a club, and I think every club's got secret handshakes. The Boy Scouts got them, you know. I mean,
They like don't tell anyone what they do.
you're right, it's a club. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You go to the Prescott Country Club, Prescott Resort Country Club, you can't just go ask them how much money is it that you guys have. It's a club. They keep everything secret. You're right. I mean, that's the way it works. But the Masons truly had a significant part at the beginning of our country. And I'm pretty sure, it's not a rumor, that's why the pyramid's on our Great Seal. They did it, right? They did it. Hey, we're proud of our intellect. We're proud of our fact that they were certified, so to speak, and the pyramids made sense. Okay, and then we go to the Air Force Seal, 276, 274. Coat of arms, there's an eagle, right? Department of the Air Force, white stars, numbers of the shields. Okay, Conrad Carroll, last warning here, everybody, okay? Okay, try to stay awake. And there's the picture of it. When was the shield done? When was the Air Force founded? When was the Air Force founded? Yes, sir.
1947.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. That makes us the oldest armed force. What's the oldest armed force?
The army.
The Army. When was the Army founded? Navy? This is a good question.
Wait, but like the newest one?
We're the newest armed force, right? Until they invent a space force or a cyber force like the like the video games. But truly, what happened was the militia in America was the first armed forces, which is the National Guard. It started way before the Revolutionary War, and then we formed the Army. I don't know if you guys were, this is one of the things you'll learn next week. 1775 was the Army and the Navy. And so the Air Force is brand spanking new. That's brand spanking new, and that's our Air Force SEAL. American's Creed. Has anybody ever heard of that? Cadet Haslam, come up here and stand in front of the camera and read us the American's Creed. Actually, you can stand behind me so everybody can see you. And I bet you've never read the American Creed before. Everybody turn to page 275 and look at that.
I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation and many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies.
There you go. When was that written? When was that written? Have we had that since 1776?
No, 1918.
1918. Not even 100 years ago. That's pretty amazing. So yes, we have the American Creed. That's not well known because we have the Pledge of Allegiance. We do that all the time, right? We don't ever do the creed, okay? One thing that I always think about, guys, that my students and my children don't realize, it says in there, the humanity for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. Do you guys realize when we fought Britain, how important was Britain in the world when we fought them? They were the combination of America and China and Russia today. They were the only country in the world that dominated the world. And we were a dinky little place like the United States Virgin Islands. And say, we want to be a country. I mean, we were a small, dinky little backwater place of just, 13 little loosely associated colonies. But in those colonies, there were some rich, did I say rich? People. There were Bill Gates. There were Mark Zuckerbergs. And they owned the plantation. They owned the rice production. They owned hundreds or thousands of slaves. They were wealthy people. And when those people, those American patriots, sacrificed their lives and fortunes, and they signed the Declaration of Independence, what were they doing? Huh? When they signed the Declaration of Independence and told the most powerful state in the nation that they were giving up, what did they do? What did they sacrifice?
Their lives. You sacrificed their...
You signed a piece of paper that said that Denny Peoples complains against the king and I'm revolting against you. If I lose, what happens?
You're dead.
You get hung. That's what we do, right? If we have the president of the Virgin Islands taking over our military and declaring himself independence, he's treason. And oh, by the way, they didn't have due process back then. They would just hang you, just kill you, shoot your whole family dead. So you think about every person who signed that Declaration of Independence, which there were 13 colonies and 3 or 4 people from each state. They were the richest people in every state that sacrificed their fortune on the fact that we were going to win. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. I mean, so today, would you see who's the richest people in America? Warren Buffett say, hey, I'm going to sign this piece of paper and vote against the king. And if I lose everything. My family gets killed. You think that's going to happen today? Yes, sir.
In a way, they actually would not be just hanged. They would have suffered far worse.
They would not have been what?
They wouldn't have just been hanged.
Hanged. Well, I'm saying the whole family just got wiped out. The king would not tolerate it, because guess what? If he tolerated revolution in this country, what happens to the rest of the world that the British pretty much had? They had Singapore, they had Philippines, they had all of Japan, they had all of Australia, India. Come on, they had all these other colonies. Africa. If one of them starts to break loose, the other ones would too. So I'm just saying, if you think about the Declaration of Independence and starting this revolt, those are the wealthiest people in the New World, and they sacrificed it all. They risked it all. And they won. But if they lost, they and their families have been killed, gone. And that's pretty gutsy. I don't know if has that ever happened before. Would it happen today? I don't know. I always think about that. All righty. That is the end of lesson 1. We will finish up there. That this test will not be for a few weeks, right? I think I have it on the internet. I think it's going to be like week 8 before the end of the quarter, because we're going to have the test on aerospace science first, and then we have the test on leadership education here at the end. We'll go through Civics Lesson 2 tomorrow, and we'll be getting going. Cadet Linsky, get ready to turn everything off. Cadet Johnson, come here and learn how to turn this stuff off. You can go ahead and just turn it off. And so you push the bottom here. Actually, go back to the call and hang up.